I want to share with you today on the principle of the target. You say, what in the world is that, Brian? Well, the principle of the target is if you don't have a target for which you are shooting, you're very likely going to hit nothing. You've heard this. I'm talking about goals. I'm talking about setting some sort of a benchmark where you can have a measurable, attainable target to go after. Now let's just take, for example, that you have a major goal of being financially independent. Well, wonderful. What does that mean? Well, that does mean different things to different people. However, let's just say you wanted to have $1 million in liquid assets at retirement. $1 million. All right, fine. That is a target. However, I would share with you that to just have that as a target could be very overwhelming because you need to set up some incremental targets that will get you to the major target. So when we talk about goals, we talk about long-term goals, intermediate goals, short-term goals, and then we talk about tasks or things we can do today to move the ball down the field toward the target. So the principle of the target is this. One, you got to have some targets in your life. So I would encourage you to look at all the areas of your life. Look at your spiritual life and have some targets in that area. Look at your marriage, your family relationships. Look at your external relationships, friends, associates, co-workers. Do you have relationship targets or relationship goals? Are there things that you want to really attain to with those relationships? What about your personal finances? I believe with all of my heart that this is an area that certainly Christians need to pay more attention to because we really should be the head and not the tail, above only, not beneath, and we should be the lenders and not the borrowers. But to become a lender, you've got to have something to lend. And most of us are deeply in debt. And so a target might be, I want to be out of debt. Okay, what does that mean? Let's identify the debts that I have and how do I begin systematically in bite-sized pieces moving toward becoming debt-free. I would encourage you to look at people like Dave Ramsey and Crown Financial and other organizations that help people to systematically go after their debt. But that's a target. Maybe you want to have a financial target of accumulating wealth or starting a business. Maybe you have a career target. Maybe there's a position you want to attain to. All right, what are the steps in between where you are today and where you're going? The principle of the target is very simply this. If you don't have a plan, you won't make the plan. In other words, I can't expect just to show up somewhere one day and what my desire is, it just happens. I have to be systematically and intentionally moving toward a target or targets. What am I saying to you? Well, I believe goals are important. I'm expressing them as targets because I think it's easier for us to wrap our mind around. What is it that you want to go for? You say, well, Brian, is this even scriptural? Yeah, I believe it is. Paul, the apostle, the great apostle, said this. He said, I want you guys to know with all of my accomplishments, and he had accomplished many things, with all the things on my resume, and he had an incredible resume, everything that I've done, he says, I want to tell you right now, I have not arrived yet. Think about this. No doubt he had accomplished some things. He had planted, no telling how many hundreds of churches. He had impacted the lives of thousands upon thousands of people. He had had some major things happen in his life that were major moments. But he says, even though I've done all these things, I'm not done yet. Here's the problem. Most people, when they accomplish one or two little things, they stop dreaming. They stop moving the target out. They stop goal setting through. And I'm saying to you that Paul, who is a great example of success, at one of his most successful moments in his life, he said, I'm not done yet. He said, I'm pressing toward the mark. That's a target. He had a target, the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. And whatever that meant to him, that was his target. He says, I'm not going to be fixated on what's behind me. I'm going to press toward the new target, this target that's before me. And so I'm saying to you, the principle of the target is paramount to your success. You must have some goals. You must have some targets for which you're attaining. I encourage you today, sit down with somebody. Think about your dreams. Think about your desires. And set some things in writing that are targets you can go after in your life. My name is Brian Holmes. Thanks for joining us on this segment. I will be back with you very, very soon.